What you're about to see isn't easy. These photographs document suffering, cruelty, survival. Subscribe to History Unveiled, because remembering prevents repetition. William Smith, 8th Kentucky Volunteers, photographed spring of 1864 shortly after release from Belle Isle Prison. Captured at Chickamauga, his emaciated frame tells the story of months in Confederate captivity, bones visible beneath stretched skin. He survived the war, carrying this ordeal in his body forever. Weimar, Germany. Senator Alban Barkley of Kentucky, congressional committee member investigating Nazi atrocities, views evidence firsthand at Buchenwald. American lawmaker confronting what words cannot convey. The distance between Washington politics and this hell measured in shocked silence. Buchenwald concentration camp, Weimar. Bones of anti-Nazi German women remain in crematorium ovens. 3rd United States Army photograph, April 14, 1945. Prisoners of all nationalities tortured and murdered here. The ovens still holding their final victims when liberators arrived. Ebensee concentration camp, subcamp of Mauthausen-Gusen. Half-starved prisoners photographed after liberation. Men reduced to skeletal figures, eyes enormous in shrunken faces. Starvation used as weapon. Slow death through calculated deprivation. Bergen-Belsen, April 1945. Camp Dr. Fritz Klein standing in mass grave. Born in Austro-Hungary. Early Nazi Party member. Joined SS in 43. Worked Auschwitz-Birkenau from December 43. Assisted selections for gas chambers. Moved to Belsen January 45. Convicted of war crimes. Executed December 45. Photographed among the corpses he helped create. Some perpetrators faced justice. Most did not. Liberated Auschwitz. Jewish children filmed by Soviet cinematographer Alexander Vorontsov, January 28, 1945. Young faces marked by incomprehensible trauma. Childhood stolen, families murdered. Survivors too young to process what they witnessed. Epinal area, France, January 12, 1945. Ground frozen so solid ordinary picks shatter. Compressed air jackhammer pressed into service digging graves. Winter earth refusing to accept more bodies. Machinery required to bury the war's dead. The winter of 44 to 45 was exceptionally brutal. Dachau concentration camp, Bavaria, Germany. Captain Alfred de Grazia photographed before pile of corpses 2 days after American liberation. Commanding officer of Psychological Warfare Combat Propaganda Team. 7th Army Headquarters. Documenting atrocity for the record, ensuring denial becomes impossible. Waco City Hall, May 15, 1916. Mob preparing to lynch Jesse Washington from tree. Photographed by Fred Gildersleeve. Public execution as community gathering. Racial terrorism performed in daylight before crowds. The photograph preserving what participants wanted remembered, what history must never forget. Syria, Aleppo. Armenian woman kneeling beside dead child in field within sight of help and safety. So close to rescue. Too late for this child. Genocide's victims scattered across landscapes, mothers mourning where they fell. The Armenian genocide killed over 1 million people. Menuretelaziz Plains. Column of Armenian Christians on deportation march. Zaptis walking alongside. Caption reads, "A long line that swiftly grew shorter." Death march documented by perpetrators. Each mile reducing the column, bodies left behind marking the route. General Shiro Ishii performing vivisection on Unit 731 prisoner. Operations conducted on living subjects without anesthesia for experimentation. Thousands of victims, mostly Chinese communist prisoners, also children and elderly farmers. Infected with cholera, plague. Then organs removed while still alive to study disease progression before decomposition. Medical torture disguised as research. Japanese Kempeitai inspecting Chinese men for weapons. Military police enforcing occupation through systematic searches and violence. Occupied population subjected to constant surveillance and brutality. Kempeitai operated throughout Japanese-occupied territories. Tuol Sleng Security Prison, S21, Cambodia. Mother holding baby. Photographed before execution by Khmer Rouge between 1976 and 79. Torture and Execution Center. This mother and infant among thousands murdered here during Cambodian genocide. Families destroyed together, documented methodically by their killers. Hiroshima, August 1945. Atomic bomb survivor photographed by Kimura Kenichi. Burns covering skin where thermal radiation struck. Patterns showing clothing worn at moment of detonation. Fabric design seared into flesh. Nuclear fire, leaving permanent signature on those who lived. Hiroshima, Japan, 1947. Atomic bomb survivor photographed 2 years after blast. Keloid scars covering face and body. The bomb's legacy written on skin. Disfigurement lasting long after mushroom cloud dissipated. Florida timber harvest, circa 1903. Chain gang of young African-American convicts leased to private companies. Southern practice of chaining prisoners together for menial labor. Slavery rebranded as criminal justice. Bodies exploited for profit under legal cover. Convict leasing generated massive revenue for states. Albumin prints showing enslaved people standing in row, chained together, each carrying basket. Bondage made visible through iron links. Labor extracted through force. Movement controlled through restraints. The machinery of slavery preserved on paper. Auschwitz-Birkenau ramp, German-occupied Poland. May through June 1944. Selection of Hungarian Jews during Holocaust's final phase. Nazi officers dividing arrivals. Work or gas chamber. Industrial genocide operating at peak efficiency. Families separated in moments. Most sent immediately to death. Crumpsall Workhouse, circa 1895 through 97. 23 boys institutionalized. Victorian Britain warehousing impoverished children. Young faces showing deprivation and strict discipline. Childhood shaped by poverty and institutional control. From camps to captivity, suffering crosses borders. Russian prisoners of war marching toward German prison camps. Columns of captured Soviet soldiers facing starvation, forced labor, execution. Wehrmacht treated Eastern Front prisoners with deliberate brutality. Millions would die in captivity through policy of extermination through neglect. Harriet Jordan, admitted to asylum in 1858, diagnosed with acute mania. Photographed as part of institutional records. Mental illness treated through confinement and documentation. Victorian psychiatry cataloging patients while offering little actual treatment. Unidentified female patient admitted to West Riding Asylum with general paralysis. Medical photography recording diagnosis on faces of the institutionalized. Women confined for conditions medicine barely understood, labeled and archived as clinical specimens. Asylum records preserved thousands of these photographs. Mauthausen concentration camp. Dutch Jews wearing prison uniforms marked with yellow star and letter N for Netherlands, standing at attention during roll call. February 28, 1941, 389 Jewish prisoners arrived from Amsterdam and Rotterdam. Many working-class longshoremen, all immediately sent to quarry work and construction. Identification badges marking nationality, religion, fate. October 1944. German forced evacuation of northern Norway. Elderly woman in queue for food at Kiruna, Sweden, clutching package containing her most precious possessions. Civilians fled across mountain plateaus under extreme hardship. Some died during the crossing. Refugees carrying what survived the journey in their arms. 70,000 Norwegians were displaced during this scorched earth policy. Utah Beach, June 6, 1944. German prisoners of war in barbed wire enclosure. African-American soldiers visible in near center distance. Sherman tank named Delphia beyond them. USS LCD-855 stranded on beach behind tank. D-Day captives guarded on the sand they were ordered to defend. Milan, via Tabaki, April 28, 1945. Vera Roll exposed to public humiliation. Published by newspaper Levante. Women accused of collaborating with fascists subjected to mob justice. Punishment performed before crowds. Photographed for mass circulation. Public shaming of collaborators occurred across liberated Europe. Baltimore City Jail whipping post. Put into use around 1885. Until 1938. Many convicted of wife-beating punished here. Prisoner and officials photographed beside the post. corporal punishment administered by the state for domestic violence, physical discipline delivered as legal consequence. Auschwitz, Jewish prisoner number 13,088 after her hair is shorn, head shaved upon arrival, identity stripped through number tattoo and forced transformation. Dehumanization beginning with removal of appearance, name, autonomy. January 1945. Captured German soldiers raise hands and surrender to United States soldier. Poor weather and Allied resistance at key junctions prevented Germans reaching Antwerp. The final offensive collapsed. Wehrmacht soldiers choosing captivity over continued fighting in lost cause. Hanoi, North Vietnam. John McCain lies in hospital bed after being taken prisoner of war. Future senator photographed during 5-year captivity. Injury sustained during shoot-down visible. Years of imprisonment ahead, though he doesn't know it yet. Asterisk McCain was held from 67 to 73. Northern Gaza Strip, June 16, 2025. Palestinians struggle to access food. Contemporary crisis, continuing patterns of displacement and deprivation. Conflict creating humanitarian catastrophe. People desperate for basic sustenance amid ongoing violence. Civilian internment camp, Canada. Detainees held behind wire on Canadian soil. Wartime policy of mass internment based on ethnicity and nationality. Citizens and residents confined without individual charges. Grouped by heritage rather than actions. New York City Labor Parade, 1909. 2 young women wearing banners reading, "Abolish child slavery," in English and Yiddish. Jewish immigrants particularly active in labor causes, including fight against child labor. Workers demanding protection for children exploited in factories. Federal child labor laws didn't pass until 1938. Liberated concentration camp, May 1945. Former prisoners in bunk beds immediately after freedom arrives. Skeletal figures still lying where they were found, too weak to leave the wooden platforms where they nearly died. Liberation meaning survival, not yet strength to stand. These photographs document what humans do to each other. We remember so it doesn't repeat. History Unveiled preserves what must never be forgotten.